Hey everyone, Economic Ninja here. I thought this would probably be the best way to start this video as we talk about this housing bubble. You know, the sun goes up and the sun goes down, and when it gets dark, it can get scary for a lot of people. And then there's storms. There's storms. I just spoke with a friend on the other side of the world this morning, and it's just raining down like crazy on his property, flooding like crazy. It hasn't stopped for 3 days. They've been working all day and all night trying to keep their property from just sloughing off the hill. But he said, we've only got about a day left, and then the rains stop. Economic cycles surprise most of the people. But what's funny about this world is we have meteorologists that will warn us about rain coming. And you'll see some people at your local home do-it center. I saw it a couple of months ago or weeks ago here in my town that were down at Home Depot picking up sandbags. We're talking about a housing crash here. They were picking up sandbags. They were going, hey, where are the sandbags? Oh, well, the empty bags are here. The full sandbags are out back. Okay, I'm going to go ahead. And I sat and thought to myself, I said, that's a prudent person. That's someone that gets ready for something ahead of time. They were warned by the meteorologists, hey, there's a big storm coming. We all know that it maybe couldn't happen, right, at that point, but someday that storm is coming. And the prudent person went out and got some things. An even more prudent person already has those things set aside. They're ready to go. But the masses, it never, I just can't get over. Like what just happened, the floods in California, and people trapped and getting hurt, and people end up dying from some of these floods. They were warned. But then the storm settles, and you could see that sun the sun is still there. The opportunities for you to make money are still there, right? But they're clouded right now. You can't see them. Most people can't see those opportunities. And we're going to talk about the lies and what's going on in this housing bubble and what's going on in the media. But eventually, all that cloud has to do is move, and then you see the opportunity. The question is, are you ready to see the opportunity in this housing market, in this housing bubble? Most people, all they give a crap about is what's happening this month. They don't care about what's coming in a few months. Oh, I just got to get one. I saw some comments once, or the other day. They said, this guy was telling you not to buy a house last year. Look at how much money you missed out on. Like, first off, I never said that. I always said you should always buy a house if rent's more expensive, and if you got a good solid job, why wouldn't you buy a house? But this isn't the time to make the big money buying rentals. I mean, I own a house right now. I didn't sell it. But the thing is, and I've told that story about how I bought a house at the top of the market in 2005. I knew I was going to hold it for 10 years. I didn't care that it went down 46%. It was making me money hand over fist because of my side hustles that I was doing there, selling palm trees and tractors. Being able to see the sunlight through the clouds. That's the question. Can you do that? And this is what I'm going to tell you right now. Because within the last year, if you would have bought in these first handful of metro areas, you'd have lost money. You'd be down. But now the media, all they want to do is cheer on some other metro areas that are going up. And this is what happens at the top when everything's crashing down. This is how long a real estate cycle takes. If you want to learn more about it, I'll put some 80% off links down below for the crash course. There's only 1 week less than 1 week left now. It all ends next Monday. All right, here we go. This story is out of Wolf Street. It's entitled The Most Splendid Housing Bubbles in America, December 2023 update. It says down from 2022 highs. San Francisco is down 12%. Seattle is down 11%. Portland down 6%. Denver, Phoenix, Las Vegas down 5%. Dallas down 4%. San Diego 2%. Los Angeles 1%. But new highs are in 8 metros. So within the last year, if you'd have bought in any of those cities, and just so you know, this is how a real estate bubble works, a crash works. All those cities that I outlined right there were the first to rise in the housing rise. They were the first. And then that money flowed out and reinvigorated these ones that we're going to talk about now. And now there's going to start turning soon. All right? It says today's S&P CoreLogic Case-Shiller Home Price Index for October is a 3-month moving average of home prices whose sales were entered into public records in August, September, and October. That's the time frame here. It uses the sales pairs method, comparing the sales price of the same house over time, thereby eliminating issues associated with median prices and average prices. So just so you know, those are not going to be as catastrophic of numbers, either to the upside or the downside. All right? So it says here, the story here is about the individual metros of the 20 metros covered by S&P CoreLogic Case-Shiller Home Price Index, where home prices soared to ridiculous levels, multiplying by factors of 3 and 4 since the year 2000. The most splendid housing bubbles, we started calling them since about 2017 to track their astounding surge and what their fate is now. 9 of the 20 metros in the Case-Shiller Index were below their peaks in mid-2022. 9 metros had month-to-month decline. Like I said before, Seattle, Denver, Tampa, Washington, D.C., Portland, San Francisco, San Diego, Dallas, and Minneapolis. And 8 of the 20 metros set new highs. So you have less than half of them setting new highs. Prices below and their 2022 peaks in 9 of the 20 metros in the Case-Shiller Index. So it says here, so I'll just run through the negatives. San Francisco down over 11, Seattle down over 10, Portland down over 5, Vegas over 5, Denver over 5, Phoenix over 5, Dallas over 4. Those ones I read before, right? Now, prices that set new highs. And this is in 8 of the 20 metros. New York Metro went up 7.1%. Detroit, 8+%. Chicago, 6.9. Boston, 6.6. Miami, 6.7. Cleveland, 6.4. Charlotte, 6.0. And Atlanta, 5.3. So we're seeing, and it's showing some charts here, that there are housing markets like San Francisco that peaked, and now this is where we're at. Remember, you have to take into account seasonally adjusted prices. But then you have ones, this is what it looks like. This is the pullback. That was San Francisco, right? I showed you it peaked and it came up in a little bump, right? Almost like a dead cat bounce. This is the comparison of housing bubble 1, the small bubble right here, which was 2008. And then you have this. Now I want you to notice this little nub up top. I remember that nub, little nubbin. That nub came in right around the spring of 2006, right? Then it came down and plateaued, and then it started to collapse very heavily. If you take a Fed funds rate chart, you will notice that the Fed funds rate started to dive drastically prior to the real estate in San Francisco diving, because the damage had already been done. So like the news is wanting to go out and tell you about all this great housing. Look at housing went up in October. It's doing great. They're taking an average of the last 3 months, which also, just so you know, encapsulates a very strong month, a good month, right? The end of the summer buying season, which would be September. Was it September or August? I'm blanking out. August, September, November. I'm blanking out. Let's go back here real quick. Sorry, August, September, and October. So it's encapsulating August, which is one of the hottest months still, because it's the end of the summer buying season. When you get into September, it gets closer or slower. So it's encapsulating that data, right? It's not showing you the month over month changes. You're going to see a big change in the next quarter. But then this is what's important here. You go back to that next housing bubble and you notice that little nub. That was because interest rates started to dive down right there. That little bump up, that's what I'm warning people about. That's coming this spring. This little bump up in prices. Oh man, this is good. Interest rates are going down. That's not it. See, the thing is the economy, if they lower rates right now, what we didn't have back then, And this is very serious for people to understand. We didn't have food and energy inflation like we do right now. We didn't have overall inflation like we do right now. We had energy inflation in 2008, where oil prices were hitting max highs. End of 2007, 2008. We didn't have all the other inflation. So you see, there's gonna be a little bit of a euphoria, just like that bump. Now what's interesting is it looks very similar, but more pronounced right here. It's almost like the middle finger showing the market what's about to happen. The question is, are you going to be ready for it? Are you going to be able to see the sunlight through this? The only way you can do that is by taking time seriously right now and studying your butt off, preparing, getting out of debt. How many people here are getting out of debt right now and are actively getting ready for a real estate crash? Type 1. Type 2 if you're not. Type 2 if you think that housing is going to keep going up. Housings are just going to keep going up, which means everybody's going to get just tons of raises and everything's going to be awesome, like the Lego movie. Because the truth is, everyone tells me that. They go, no, houses aren't going to go down this time. Oh yeah, cool. How's everyone going to get the money to speculate in the market to keep the houses going up? Because there's just got to be a greater fool, right? Which means that greater fool has to be raising, their wages need to be going up. Or they need to not be getting laid off. I mean, hey, fast food workers here in California are getting raises up to $20 an hour. How's that working out? Oh, that's right. McDonald's and all these companies started putting in automated machines and firing people. So that's been going on for the last year and a half. Well, that's good news. No, it's not. So the thing is, the people that are typing 2, they have no freaking common sense. Because housing goes through corrections every 7 to 10 years. And it goes through really big ones every 50 to 100 years. And if you think that this Great Recession was something, you ain't seen nothing yet. So to everybody that's getting ready right now, getting ready and taking this seriously, you are going to be rewarded. Don't worry about this fake out coming in the spring. You're going to see what's happening. Remember, Michael Burry was called an idiot and called crazy by his peers for years, until he was right. Because the truth is, none of this can sustain itself. So are you going to be able to just see the clouds and not see the opportunities behind it and get smacked in the face by the Federal Reserve and the government? Or do you see that sunlight peeking through and you go, I know, this storm is about to clear. And when it clears, I'm going to absolutely crush it. Hope you guys had a great day. Hope you got something out of this. If you want to take advantage of the $199 deal to 80% off right now, it's over on Monday. For the How to Prepare for the Real Estate Crash course, links down below. With that being said, the Economic Ninja is out.